Dr. Lynn Hayes, will be reading the story, or the first part of the story, The Three Billy Goat Scruff, as a way of demonstrating to you 4 different signed inputs. First, I'll read the sentences, and then we'll be presenting the sentences in Signing Exact English. That vocabulary is based on this text by Geraldine Gustafson and her colleagues. Then in Signed English, using this text by Bornstein and Saulnier. There really isn't one base text for Pidgin Signed English, our third input, and the ASL vocabulary is based on a basic course in American Sign Language. You'll see me present my sentences in Signing Exact English and Signed English literally. You'll see Dr. Hayes present her sentences conceptually. I want to clarify, however, that Signed English, the second input that I'll be presenting, could be signed conceptually as well. You may find it helpful to chart the various differences and similarities between these 4 inputs. You'd want to look and notice both lexical or sign word level differences and similarities, as well as syntactical differences and similarities among these 4 inputs. It's said that Signing Exact English, or C2, and Signed English incorporate about 50% of ASL-based vocabulary. You'd expect Pidgin Signed English to be a little bit higher than that because it more closely compares to American Sign Language. Well, let's begin. First, I'll read the sentence in oral English. Once upon a time, there were 3 billy goats. Now, I'll sign that same sentence in Signing Exact English. Once upon a time, there were 3 billy goats. And I'll sign that same sentence in Signed English. Once upon a time, there were 3 billy goats. Now, you probably noticed that the signs once, of course the finger spelling upon, the signs a, time, 3, billy, and goats were all approximately the same signs, while the signs there versus there, were versus were different. Now, Dr. Hayes will demonstrate Pidgin Signed English and American Sign Language versions of this same sentence. Pidgin Signed English. Once upon a time, there were 3 billy goats. American Sign Language. Once upon a time, there were 3 billy goats.
As you can see from these sentences, once upon a time is similar in both. There in Pidgin Signed English, I spelled and I continued to use English syntax. In American Sign Language, I only used 3 signs once upon a time, which was 1 sign, and then I used topic, comment. The topic is the goat, the comment is their 3.
Okay, let's do oral English of the second sentence. They lived in a valley, and the name of all 3 billy goats was Gruff. Signing Exact English. They lived in a valley, and the name of all 3 billy goats was Gruff. Signed English. They lived in a valley, and the name of all 3 billy goats was Gruff. Now, almost the whole first part of that sentence is the same. They lived in a valley and the name. Then, in Signing Exact English, this is the sign for of compared to fingerspelled of in Signed English. All is fingerspelled in Signing Exact English, and there's a sign in Signed English. 3 billy goats is the same. You probably saw that same difference between was and was that you saw a minute ago with the word were. And gruff is, of course, the same. Now we'll see Dr. Hayes do Pigeon Signed English and American Sign Language. Pigeon Signed English. They lived in a valley, and the name of all 3 billy goats was Gruff. American Sign Language. They lived in a valley, and the name of all 3 billy goats was Gruff.
If you look at both sentences, you'll see that, first of all, in PSC that I indexed they and then included live in the valley and then spelled the, and then I went through it and said all and spelled all, and you can do it either like this or this way, and then 3 goats. The biggest difference between the PSC and the ASL is that in ASL, instead of saying they, I stuck with the 3 and then lived where and used a rhetorical question and then showed that they lived in the valley, and then let you know at the beginning that the name of the goats was what? Gruff. Now we'll move